making moonshine. I don't know what happened to the opening. That's crazy, y'all. It looks like they've been over to Dawson County and gotten in the moonshine. I don't know what happened, but these boys worked hard this weekend covering a bluegrass music festival. And as I understand it, a whole bunch of y'all were there too. A whole bunch of y'all. I don't know what y'all were doing out so late, but the boys are whooped today. They're just tired. They're just tired. And can I just say, I'm getting up y'all's age. Every bone in my body hurts today. We've had rain, we've had a little thunder, we had a little lightning, we've got clouds. The atmosphere is changing. But the wisest person I know finally diagnosed why I can't breathe. Dr. Sanford says it is dog days. Do y'all know about dog days? Do you know about dog days? Well, I'm almost beginning to fall for it because I've tried everything and I have just been hacking and coughing and I can't breathe. And he said, well, don't you worry. August 11th, you'll be fine. And I said, okay, so we'll see. I hope everybody feels good today and you're welcoming the cooler temperatures. I always welcome fall. I love fall because in the fall you can go to the pumpkin patch, you can go to the sunflower patch, you can go walk through a corn maze. There's so much to do in the fall, and you know why you can do it? The temperatures are lower. When it's 105, you don't want to be in a cornfield. When it's 105, you don't want to be picking apples. When it's 105, you want to be at the house in the air conditioning. Today, the roads were packed, and I was on the phone and I was doing this little call, and they said, you know what roads packed is a sign of? I said, yeah, everybody got up early and they're all headed to Ellijay. They said, no, it means that the economy is back because everybody's working. And I thought, well, I never thought of that. But I looked over and there were trucks with sheetrock on it, trucks with bricks on it, trucks with bags of mortar on it, trucks with lumber on it. So I said, he may be smarter than I thought he was. There are lots of vehicles out there headed to work. That's a good sign. We need a good sign. We also need the interest rate to drop about 1%. If it'll drop 1%, just 1%, guys, just give us 1%. It will change the housing market. I have so many first-time buyers that are saying, we've just got to wait, we've just got to wait, we've just got to wait. They're tired of waiting. They're tired of paying rent, and they're tired of making their landlord a little bit wealthier. They want to buy a house. Please let the interest rate come down 1%. Do you think if I called Mr. Powell, talked to him? No, I don't think so. I think he's a pretty stubborn old gentleman, and I don't think even I could get anywhere. Even a peach cobbler, I could take him a peach cobbler. I just think he's a little bit sour, so I don't think he's going to do anything to help us out there. But those first-time buyers are stopping and slamming the brakes on and waiting and waiting, and we've been waiting, and we're tired of waiting. So let's see what happens. But according to traffic, lots of people are working. According to the mountains, a lot of cabin rentals have already been rented for the fall. When the leaves start turning and changing, you know that these mountains get full of people. Well, the mountains are always full of music, and there's a new event happening on Tuesday up in McKaysville. And we love this because they used to have this before, and we're going to show you a little bit of information on that later. But I will tell you, it's about filling the streets with the sounds of music. That sounds like Julie Andrews might be coming to see us, but I don't think she is. She doesn't do bluegrass. So the Barker brothers are getting together with other groups and just going to make we got to fill these hills with music. That's what started ETC, was all you folks, all your churches, all you local groups who said, if you do a TV station, we'll come and sing for you. And they did it for many years. So now we're going out in the field and going to cover some of this. I love that the guys got this weekend because they got lots and lots of music, and new content is good. So speaking of new content, next week, next Sunday, which is, I think it's the 17th, there are going to be great gospel groups at the Georgia Mountain Fair. You know that we are less than 14 days away from the opening of the Georgia Mountain Fair's 75th anniversary. That 75th anniversary is pretty important. It goes right along with agritourism. I got to get that word straight. Agritourism knows that Gilmer County is making a whole lot of money with vineyards. They're making a whole lot of money with apples, making a whole lot of money with even peach crops are coming in. There are so many things that agriculture is such a big part of Gilmer County, of Fannin County, into North Carolina. And you're going to get to see today a little bit of the interview I did with Nate Darnell. I got to tell y'all, this kid, he'd been out in the rain, soaking wet, absolutely soaking wet, but he was such a gentleman. He just sat down there and you could kind of hear the water in his boots sloshing. He was wet, but he did this interview and I was so thankful for it. And then his daddy, Jeff, came along and we talked. And when you look at what they've been through in farming, farming's not an easy way to make a living. And you know, you can go out here to R&A Orchards or you can go to Hillcrest, you can go to any of them and they'll tell you often the temperatures, the weather, the rain, the sun, the cold, that dictates what that crop is going to be, and there's nothing we can do about the weather. If we could today, my knee wouldn't hurt. And there is R&A Orchards. Now there's something about these local apples. Go pick up an apple that came across the country in a tractor and trailer and compare it to a local apple. There's no comparison, absolutely no comparison. This tastes like you just picked it because it was just picked. And I was lucky enough that day. We spent some time watching them as they grade the apples, and they do grade them. You know, it's a cooking apple, it's a, and then it's a 1, 2, or 3. And I might add, if you're hungry, they also have a great deli, and they have chicken and dumplings, and they have Philly steak sandwiches. Just good stuff in a great atmosphere, and it's just at Highway 52 East. We're going to be featuring the things that make Gilmer County really special, and some of the things that make them special are the restaurants, the food, the products that we produce. Gilmer County produces tons and tons of apples. They also produce a lot of good atmosphere. People just like to come to Gilmer County. They just relax and they sit back, and you might see them sitting on a rocking chair on a porch. You might see them sitting in a restaurant and enjoying a long meal. Seems like it just changes people's attitude when they come to visit these mountains, and we want them to keep coming, so keep saying, welcome y'all, howdy. We're glad that you're here. We are so glad that you're here because, you know, tourism makes or breaks these mountain counties often, and there's so many of us that depend on that. Now this, y'all, this is crazy. This is last year around my birthday. It was so crazy. I just realized I'm still having some trouble with my eyes and still got a little bit of bruising. It's been over a year that I fell. So my Fitbit told me the other day, you might have a fall in the next 12 months. And I thought, well, stupid, if you'll look back, you'll see that I had a fall 12 months ago, so I'm not due another one. But how could your Fitbit know that you might fall in 12 months? I'm like, are you kidding me? So when I got this out, I said, well, it's actually been about 15, 16 months since I fell. But it was crazy. When that thing told me this weekend, you might have a fall, I thought, what are you talking about? I've already had that fall and I don't want another one of those. But when we look around, just golly, all of a sudden we've got these things telling us what we're going to do. We've got a phone telling us what we're going to do. We got a watch telling me I might fall. Are you kidding me? But I guess it's old age setting in, and they need to tell us, be cautious, be careful. I just laughed. I looked down at it and I thought, you have got to be kidding me. My watch is telling me you might have a fall in the next 12 months. And I thought, well, I might win the lottery, but I'd have to buy a ticket to do it, and I didn't. So I may have to go buy me one. Let's get back in the kitchen. It's going to be cool weather. It's going to be time to feed the family. School is back in. We get on a routine. Let's get back in the kitchen and let's do some fun recipes. And the way you start with a fun recipe is you go to one of our local growers and you buy what is in season. And I remember when I walked in Mercier Orchards, I made my first apple pie, and everybody thought I was kidding. This was like 15 years ago. I walked in there and I said, hey, I've never made an apple pie, I want to make one. They said, we thought you did a cooking show. I said, oh, I do, but I said, I don't make apple pies because I don't like apple pies. But I made one and I really liked it, and we named it Sherry's Crazy Apple Pie because I put craisins in my apple pie. Did that make sense? It did to me, because I got the antioxidant from the craisins, and I got all the fiber from the apple, and I got good fresh vitamins because it was local apples. Local apples are going to be everywhere, and we want y'all to get out and purchase these local apples. Walk into RNA, walk into Hillcrest, walk into all the other growers that are around here, and just say, hey, what's your crop of the day? What's the best thing you do? What's special? Do you have any recipes you recommend? And learn to cook with local vegetables and local fruits. And you just might make somebody smile. And if you make a Sherry's Crazy Apple Pie, I know you'll make them smile because it was a good pie. I was surprised. But I just thought apple pie to me sounded boring, so I thought, well, we'll just throw some craisins in it, and that's what we did. And it was really yummy, really yummy. Now, I buy the 5 hot pepper jelly from RNA, and that's what I use in my chicken salad, and oh my gosh, it is so good. You put the hot pepper jelly on one piece of bread, the chicken salad on the other, and this, I gotta share this. You've heard Dwight's song about the bridge outside of town. Well, there's the bridge. There's the water running under the bridge. Everything he does in his music came from memories of his life. And I told him, I said, well, it's too late for you to write a song about Poke Salad Annie because somebody else already did it. But, you know, winter is coming. I hope that your garden did well, and I hope that you put up a lot of stuff to feed your family for the winter. That's what country folks do. And the next generation doesn't know how to do it. So we've got 2 choices. We have to send them to the grocery store and let them buy everything, or we have to teach them to farm. And I think it's time we taught everybody to farm a little bit. And if you can't farm yourself, you can go to our local places and buy what they farm. Now, y'all, this is not collard greens. This is poke salad. There's a big difference, but they both do the same thing for you. And he just loved doing that, and I'm like, are you kidding me? But it's good for you. It's good for you, and it gives you a spring cleaning, and you know what I mean. So it is time. Fall is upon us. Time to get back in the kitchen, and we want y'all cooking again. It's been too hot to cook. Everybody's ill. You turn on that stove, and it's hot. Oh, it's hot. But I gotta tell you, the green beans that I got at Darnell Farms the other day and I cooked, I don't know what I did, but they were magic. Those are the best green beans I ever cooked in my life. I don't know what I did different. I probably put more bacon grease in there than normal, but they were pretty good. Really, really good. Get out while the vegetables are available. Go visit some of our local growers and just decide. You can can it, you can freeze it, you can dry it if you dry the apples. Do whatever it makes sense to you to preserve. And this is so funny. I'm so blessed. One of our amazing, amazing homeowners gifted me a table and chairs, and I had to have a reason to have a meal. So we had to have a reason to have a meal. I couldn't believe it. It's so beautiful and it's so big, and it's because we were celebrating my birthday, but we're about to celebrate a little girl's 3-year-old. She's going to be 3. Can y'all believe that? She was here on the set when she was 2 weeks old, and she's been with us forever now. There's Darnell Farms, and if you have not been, it's about a 2.5-hour drive from Ball Ground. So get out, find a reason to go to the mountains, and that is what I'm sadly addicted to that right now. The pineapple Dream Whip is pineapple and strawberries, and oh my gosh, but they have blackberry. I didn't even think about vanilla. I can't imagine having a vanilla Dream Whip. I'd want that fresh fruit in it. And I love watermelon, and they also have a watermelon one. But if you haven't been, get out, take a drive. Remember, a daycation. A daycation is you just get up in the morning and you head somewhere and you enjoy the day, and about 4 o'clock in the afternoon you head back home so you can be home, get your little supper along the way, and then walk into your house, get back in your bed just where you left this morning, because a daycation just means you leave in the morning and you get back by night. And you can do that at Darnell Farms. So get out and visit these mountains. There's not a better time than when the temperatures are cool. Now, just because we're having this cool, rainy spell this week does not mean that summer's over. Summer is not over. It's going to be hot again next week. So just enjoy this week, even though it's raining. Temperatures are cool. Make you a pot of chicken and dumplings. Make you a big old pot of chicken and rice. Make you a blackberry cobbler, because there were tons of blackberries this year. So get out and do something with the fresh produce from all the growers that we have, from Gilmer County to Fannin County to even in Polk County, Tennessee, we've got some folks growing. It's about turning that land into production for your families to eat. And that's pretty important, because if you've been to the grocery store lately, yeah, if you can put it up. And I think I saw that at Darnell Farms, a 20-pound box of tomatoes was like $19 and something. You can put that up and you can either stew it, you can make spaghetti sauce out of it. There's so much you can do, and that's a great price. So get involved in it and use those fresh vegetables. Yay. And I was looking, now that's ginger, and I can't remember what that other one is. Is it turmeric? I think. But they have fresh everything, and there are those heirloom tomatoes. Look at those heirloom tomatoes. They really do look like art. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. I hope I've encouraged you. I hope you will get out. I hope if you go out on Highway 52 East, got all kinds of growers out there, and a lot of them would love to see your smiling faces. So get out and go visit them, whether you get an apple pie or you buy some green beans. Now there's my green beans, and I do wish I had a whole bushel of them, because I would cook them and put them up and put them in the freezer and then have them to eat after a long day at work. So it's important that we eat healthy, and it's important that we eat local. So eat local. Find something, find one of our growers local that's still got crops, and see what they're bringing in this week and get you some of it and turn it into supper on the table. Those green beans are making me hungry. Wow. And cucumbers. Now, cucumbers, you either love them or you don't love them. Somebody told me a cucumber was so bad a hog wouldn't eat it. I love cucumbers. I love cucumber sandwiches, and they're actually good for you. So, but you got to decide, do you like a cucumber or not? Some people, not so much. And that says it all. Got to be North Carolina? Well, here we got to be Georgia. So let's watch that little blip it right there. That's my favorite. That was so good. A dream whip. A dream whip. So, and again, that's the special thing that Darnell Farms offers. I don't know how they dreamed it up, but I know Afton did that. And everybody loves them, and they drive from everywhere to get them. So we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back from the commercial, we're going to visit with Nate Darnell. And I will tell you, he looks very different that day than he did in the Ingalls commercial, because he had come off the field. He was muddy, he was dirty, he was tired, and he sat down and we spent a little time talking. And I hope that you will learn a little from a farmer who's been doing it since he was about knee-high to a grasshopper. We'll be back shortly.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Free game to greater things. This is Pretirement.
the 75th Annual Georgia Mountain Fair, August 15th through the 23rd at the historic Georgia Mountain Fairground. Live entertainment, arts and crafts, food vendors, carnival rides, and more. Join us Thursday, August 14th for our 75th anniversary celebration with live entertainment, a fireworks show, and 75-cent carnival rides. Tickets available at the gate or call 706-896-4191. Visit GeorgiaMountainFairgrounds.com for ticket prices and concert schedule. Thanks to Towns County Convention and Visitors Bureau and all our generous sponsors.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
We have a little 30-second something we're going to show y'all now, and you'll see what we do behind the scenes, because you know we go out. This is ball ground, and this is from a gentleman who has a drone, and he did some amazing shots. He lives in, I guess he lives in ball ground, and Stephen, thank you very much. He posted those today on ball ground, and he was I did that picture. See those birds? I guarded those with my life until they flew away last Thursday. And everybody kept saying, you need to get that nest down. I said, no, it's got baby birds in it. That's part of the cycle of life. If I'd have touched that, the mama bird wouldn't have come back. And here, if you're visiting, if you've just moved to Ball Ground First Baptist Church, the maintenance of the grounds there is done by the hardest working man in the world, Roy Haynes. He is the hardest working man ever, and I'll say he's a little bit older than me, and he works hard. And if you are new to town, please go visit Ball Ground First Baptist Church. Beautiful church, a lot of history, and the grounds are immaculate, and the people are wonderful. So we love featuring the little towns that we serve, and you know, when we go from Ball Ground to Turtletown, the guys go up and they cover the thing at Kimsey Ridge now. That's just nearly in Turtletown. When we go to Fields of the Wood, that's in past Turtletown. When we go out in the field, often we meet you. And I was lucky enough to go out in the field and spend some time with the Darnell family. And yes, it was dark and it was hard to see, and the storm had come through and changed everything about the atmosphere. But this guy who was soaking wet sat down and talked to us, and then his daddy sat down and talked to us. And it was so nice to hear what it's really like. I've been a customer of Darnell Farms for over 20 years. And anytime somebody's looking for produce, they'll call me and say, hey, do you know where I can get in? I said, yeah, Darnell Farms. I'll call up there and they'll say, yeah, we've got it. And I called one day and I said, can you ship Silver Queen corn? And they said, no. You have to drive up there and get it. So, they have almost everything. So we're going to go now to just a little bit of the time that I spent with Nate Darnell. And yes, he looks very different than he did in the Ingalls spot, because he was drowned, and the man came out of the field covered in mud and crud and sat down, and we just visited. Hey guys, we are at Darnell Farms. We have had a wonderful day here in the mud, the crud, the slush, the rain, and now Nate is here to tell us he is soaking wet, sopping wet, but he has been working since daylight. Tell me a little bit about what a normal day at Darnell Farms is for you.
Well, it's not much different than it has been today. You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
One thing about farming, it does suit my personality, which is tend to be hyperactive and all the things that they medicated out of my generation. If people 40 years older know, my dad always said that was just the way God made me, and he was going to find a way to get that out of me, and he did too by making me a farmer. Because
that's right.
The minute you turn your head left, there's a new job to do. If you turn right, there's a new job.
Yeah. How many years have you been farming?
Well, you know, I tell everybody, my dad was in the middle of the motor field the day I was born. And so I've been in it all my life. I started farming on my own ironically, in 2007. So it wasn't a great time to be farming on your own, taking out loans. And I kind of got humbled pretty good early on. But I've been helping my father since I was probably around about 15 years old, like really being in the field, really being a part of the crew, really having responsibilities that weren't like overseen by someone else. So that's 20 years now I've been dedicated in the field farm.
I love that. I love it. I've been coming here for 20 years, and the first time I came, y'all had a little shed. You just had a little shed. And then it grew, and it grew, it grew. And the next thing you knew, you've got a metropolis here. So what brought on all of this?
I was talking to somebody else about that the other day. When I was a little boy, this was just a packing
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Packing. It was really just a pole shed. We've always tried to keep that same ambiance and feel, because that's what people want to be involved with. They don't want to come into a brick and mortar fancy new building. They want to be in an old farm shed. Yep. Now, I do too. I feel the same way.
Yep.
So Dad was very much driven when he was younger, and this has been late 70s, early 80s, into the late 80s and into the early 90s, to try to come up with unique, creative ways to both grow strawberries, which he was very passionate about, and grow tomatoes. When the tobacco buyouts came into this country, and they were trying to encourage people to get out of tobacco and into more, value-added crops, tomatoes were one of the first ones to pick up. This has been way before my dad was probably even into it. He was kind of coming in the second wave in the mid-70s of that, messing around with tomatoes as opposed to tobacco. And so when he got down here, he came in this country. My dad was originally from Macon County, and it's kind of hard to find land to farm over there. That was a very popular place for people who, we call them half-backers. Well, we ain't going to take on them. They went all the way down to Florida and decided it was too hot. They came halfway back.
Yep.
But Macon County was very popular, and so he decided to kind of come over in Jackson and Swain looking for more farmland. And this is where he settled on this in a little area called Whittier, which is just up the road.
Whittier.
I was actually raised in Whittier. A lot of people don't know that I went to school, and we have this produce market here, and this is all in Swain County. And I'm a Swain County alumni guy. I played football for him and everything. But I was raised in Whittier on the Jackson County side. So I tell people I'm a son of the Smoky Mountains. I really don't have a county to my own. Probably make some of my buddies mad to find out I was actually raised in Jackson County, but we spent most of our time here. We had a farmhouse there, we had a facility. The dad grew tomatoes there, had a packing house, and he had another one right down here. When I say packing house, these were very rudimentary.
Oh, I remember.
And they've grown and become more. Anyway, people would come down when I was a little boy, I remember it very well, and want to buy a box of tomatoes. And my dad was loading semi-trucks of tomatoes.
Right.
And even though he loved to fellowship and stuff, like I remember him going, I got to get back to work. I can't sit over here. I'll talk to all the works behind, So he built this little bitty shed on wheels. You remember that probably. And it was over by the river so that people would not walk into the middle of the packing facility and behind the trucks and everything. And he felt a little safer about it. And he hired a gentleman that lived right over there past that Darnell Farm sign across the river. It's probably 1,500 feet from here. And the name was Earl Woody. And if you ever drive down this road and look at your GPS, it's called Walker Woody Road.
Oh, is that?
And I think he was either the son or the grandson of Walker Woody, with that name. That road is named after. And Earl Woody was the nicest, kindest man. And he hired him to sit there and sell tomatoes. And then
It worked.
It worked. And he would sell tomatoes by the old quart cup and the old quart cups, and he had them on one of them old pretty scales like you see in an old general store. With I used to love to play with it.
First
Roll.
time I came here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
My mama, she had 2 or 3 of them. She kept at the house, and they wear out, and there would be rats who'd take them home. But he sold tomatoes and strawberries right there. And my dad had already been tinkering with the idea of having you pick strawberries and things like that too, but he really hadn't got a foothold in and figured out how to coordinate it. It takes a lot of legwork to have that stuff ready for folks, and it just, when people ask me about this farm, I tell them this is OG agriculture.
Yeah.
This is the oldest as it gets, because this place was a real farm, a commercial farm, and it just happened to be that my dad loved to talk to people, and my mom and dad were singers, and they played bluegrass music. And Dad and Mom would play weddings and stuff on car time when I was a little bitty boy. I remember it well, going around with them, and we'd go to people's houses and they'd play the weddings, or they'd have a homecoming and they'd hire my dad and mom to come play music, or they'd just come play for the fun of it. Dad always said he had a part-time job to support his farming habit.
I get it. I get it.
So that's where all that came. It's all it all stemmed from. So we started out, little as a commercial farm, and Dad really didn't have, a lot to work with, and he was very resourceful, and he was very driven.
Your dad's still alive?
Dad, oh yeah, he's here somewhere. Actually, you know what? I sent him all the way to Edinburgh, Tennessee today to drop off a tractor to have it worked on.
Okay.
And he loves it over there. He said that, he talks about how that valley opens up over there in some of the prettiest country. So he likes that drive. So, but he will be back in a little while. You might catch him here at the end of this thing. If you think I talk, buckle up. Now, I know I'm quiet compared to my dad. Now, he could talk a hole in that wall.
Oh, that's exciting.
But we just, we just started as a farm, and I can remember when you couldn't see through the grass to the river like you can now. It was just a jungle. My dad wanted to clean that up, so he took the time and spent the money to sort of take all the undergrowth out so people could go along and fish and picnic. And I remember when there was just old female farmers, y'all, we'll just bark anything and weeds, I had to, sometimes I get in trouble for being hard on my crew because I say the only way to make a farm look this pretty is you have to be on the ball about cleaning. So I used to be an old shed park right there. My mother for years had a picture of me, and I couldn't be more than 3 years old. Long blonde hair when I still had hair, and I had a little puppy dog in my hands, and it was just I remember it just being an old farms can be messy. It is messy out there, and she loved that picture of me. She showed me her little toe head. So, but it was just not. When I look around and start talking, that's what I think about. I think about all the stories of being a kid out here and running around and playing, and I think that's what my dad wanted to share with me.
Yeah. And today you are responsible for jobs for many people. Agriculture is a big deal in North Carolina. And I'm so excited that the country is finally bringing agriculture, people who are going to have to get to know you and know that Washington, D.C. is not where the agriculture is. It's right here in North Carolina. They're going to get to know you, and they're going to know what you do for a living.
Well, I think ultimately people are starting to get, kind of latch on to the idea that there's quite a big disconnect from Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that is a good step to take those hubs and stick them out across the country.
Yeah.
Certainly, the Southeast is agricultural diversity.
Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia.
The amount of food that's produced in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, like I said, all across the Southeast, Alabama, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Florida is by its own is amazing.
Exactly.
And I grew up farming, but I grew up, fruit production, which is what I tell people it's its own animal. No, you don't spend near as much time in the factory as you do on your hands and knees out in the field naming every plant.
Right.
So it's got its own challenges. But yeah, I think it's a great idea in a lot of ways.
I think we need your voice. We need your voice in the agriculture.
I try to do it when I can. I try to be on some. I'm a Farm Bureau board member. I'm the president right now of the Swain County Farm Board, but at the same time, I tell people all the time, it's hard to be. You see me the way I look right now, and it's hard to be that kind of farmer and be in on all the boards and involved, as much as I want to.
Yeah.
And a lot of my buddies will tell me all the time, you need to go out and run for commissioner. I like my soul. I want to keep my soul.
Yeah.
My problem is I want to make everybody happy, and you're not going to make everybody.
Now, what's coming out of the fields today?
Today we are picking fresh tomatoes. We usually saw the truck come by. That's heirloom tomatoes. We're picking fresh for Ingalls Markets, which is the local grocery store.
Right. Ingalls is my store.
Oh, yeah.
Ingalls is my store. I use Ingalls bacon, and I walk into my grocery store, and my little butcher looks up, and he says, Ms. Martin, I love you talking about my bacon on TV.
Let me tell you something.
It's the best bacon ever.
Ingalls has been unbelievably good to us.
Oh,
They are
awesome.
They are, they're relatively small, but they're big enough that they have a pretty good footprint over North Carolina and Georgia, Tennessee. I think they maybe have a Virginia store, because there might be one in Alabama as well. There's one or two in Alabama.
They ought to be everywhere.
They do a good job with it. They're diverse. They work with us. They do have an initiative.
They're American owned.
Yeah, they're American owned. They're based right here in the mountains of North Carolina.
That's right.
Black Mountain.
That's right.
They got hit real hard from the land.
They did.
They
did.
And I think the thing I like so much about them is that they do have an initiative to buy a float.
That's it.
They resource and source all of the produce wherever they can, like anybody will.
Right.
But they go out of their way to come see us and try to see if they can build relationships but not only American farmers, but local farmers.
Right. Well, this morning I was talking about you on the air, and I said, you know what I love is I said he created farm to table before anybody knew it was trendy. And I can remember I had a little cabin here in Bryson City, and I would come here and get our food, and we would go cook it, and we got it here, and we cooked it 3 miles down the road, you know.
Yeah, I didn't create that. I think that has existed across the culture of humankind for, it's 2,000 years. I mean, you read about it in the Bible, how people in these markets going and being, coming up with food and the bread and stuff. It's just, what happens though is that we sped our lives up so much in the last,
with craziness, yeah.
They're sped up, and it's okay. Progress, it has a cost, but we forget sometimes that when you go into one of them huge, massive supermarkets, they're beautiful, but if you forget sometimes where that food came from.
Yeah.
And that's also a thing we try to do now in the farm down here, bring kids down and get them in front of this stuff.
Exactly.
We don't like it. I always tell them, don't bring your Sunday best when they have field trips.
That's
Bring
right.
something else. We're going to get these kids out and get them a little dirty.
That's right.
Because you would never, ever experience just the pure joy to watch a child get out and run around in the field first and just have fun and realize that this farmer don't have a lot of rules as long as they're having fun. And that's, that matters so much to me. But then you take them out in the field, like a pumpkin field or a strawberry field, and you let them actually reach down and pick their own fruit or pick a pumpkin, or they're out, and sometimes we take them out to the tomato field and they get a kick out of the tomatoes because that's just egging them to go have a tomato fight, Just to see them out there, it's ironic, I grew up in a time when, my dad wouldn't let me have video games. Of course, all my neighbors had it. So we go over to my neighbor's house and we play, Super Mario Brothers and all that stuff, all those things. And kids are inundated by that. And the phones and the tablets and TV and everything's instantaneous and video games are so real. But when you get the kid out here and they see how real it is, and you get a family out here, their mothers and fathers see how much fun they're having, it's such a rewarding experience. And that's how we're trying to expose people to that. So when they go to the grocery store, when they go through an Ingles Market or wherever they're at, and they see that tomato, they go, "Hey, Mama, I remember we saw them growing them," and I hear them say something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that's really me echoing the stuff that my father taught.
Right.
That was very big to my father, to make sure people experienced farming a bit more outside and saw how much fun it can be. It just, most experiences that are stressful, like working outside, like we're doing out here, you can make them what you want by staying positive and having them do that.
I bet you learned quickly that you're not in control. Sometimes God sends you rain you don't need. Sometimes He sends you heat you don't need. And you just roll with it, You got to deal with it.
You do, It's just, that's
when that storm came, I was like, are you kidding me? We came here, it was sunny and beautiful.
I still got that mustard tea. I still got mustard tea all over me from trying to sew out there, cracking me up.
Yeah.
That is, oh Lord, that's being the boss right there, the phone.
I know.
I know. My little girl went to church with her mother yesterday, and I took her with me out here. After she got back, she wanted to come down and see her cousins, and they brought puppies down. They wanted to play. You might have seen her little blonde-haired girl running out there a minute ago, and
yeah, I think I did.
She was asking me about when I don't go to church much. In my opinion, we always tell people an ox is in the ditch every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we don't get it to the church house much, but my wife takes the kids, goes with her sister a lot and her mother, and she said, "Why don't you go to church?" I said, "Well, honey, I was busy when you were at church this morning. I was out there taking care of the irrigation on the lettuce, And I said, but I was at church. And she says, "No, you weren't. I was there." And I said, that took me a minute to try to explain to her. She's 7 years old, that every day I walk out under God's will.
Now, to hear the rest of the story, we're going to have that whole thing on ETC. I don't know how they're going to schedule it, but we're going to do a couple of additions to it. And when we think about farming, I hope that you will listen to their story. I hope that you will understand that it didn't just happen easily. It was a lot of hard work. And often when we accomplish something, it takes some hard work. We know a family that started here at ETC when Jonathan was just barely big enough to tote the banjo. And that family spent many, many years entertaining you and your churches in different events, many, many fundraisers. And now the Barker brothers are back at it again. And tomorrow, from 6 to 8 p.m. There's going to be, it's basically a little bit like Picking in the Park, but it's all acoustic instruments. The Barker Brothers will lead it off. They will do about a 30-minute concert, and then other people will do music. We want y'all to come out and support the local musicians. They're going to be at the City Park in McCaysville. And again, that is 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow night, which is Tuesday. So please plan it rain or shine, because the pavilion does have coverage for you. And if it's raining hard, take you a big old umbrella, but go and be a part of something that's just bringing back the mountain music. And that's what it's about. You know, we've still got mountain music here on ETC, and we're going to share a little bit of the original mountain music. We have a CD coming out next week that is all original, all written, all produced right here in Gilmer County. It's Mr. Ellijay. Finally, we've got the deal together. It has pictures of the lakes that you know. It has pictures of the wagons that you love. It has all kinds of things that will remind you the mountain life is the great life. And if you're just visiting us in the mountains and you haven't taken the back roads, I bet you if you followed Mr. Ellijay around, you'd find a back road or two. It's all about just chilling, just sitting by a creek side, just listening. So next week, y'all are going to get to finally get all original music by him. This CD includes Daddy's Lunchbox, which all of y'all love. So we're going to share a little bit of his music with y'all today. And remember, this is the first Tuesday of the month, beginning now. And I think it will go through October. I don't know if they're going to do November and December, January because of the cold weather. But it starts tomorrow, and we want y'all to please be there. This is at the Twin Cities, the City Park there in McCaysville. Right before you cross the bridge, you just turn right and go down there, and it has a pavilion. It is covered, so welcome everybody. And it is just a free place to hang out and enjoy good music, good times, and good people. And that's what it's about. That's what the mountains are about. Let's see if Mr. Ellijay has a song that will remind us how amazing the mountains are.
The bank says it's foreclosing and the pickup needs repair. The LP tank's on zero and my wheel is almost there. The hope I had left with you when you walked out the door, I would say things can't get worse, but I've been wrong before. The postman brought a letter. He said he needs my signature. He don't know you had to go, and the way you left me here. I told him I don't love you, oh, but the Lord knows I still do. And he knows just what I feel inside and the things I'm going through. My brother said there's a bottle that'll make this go away. I could drink until it's over or until my dying day. I could do all this and tell myself I don't care anymore, and I could hope it don't get worse again, but I've been wrong before. lost man called from work today. He left a message on my phone. I called in to talk to him to see what's going on. They're laying off across the plant, employees by the score. I would say things can't get worse, but I've been wrong before. And I could turn to the bottle and make this go away. I could drink until it's over, or until my dying day. I could do these things and tell myself I don't care anymore, and I could hope it don't get worse again, but I've been wrong before. The country's going straight to hell on a highway paved with hope. And if we keep playing around with this, we'll hang by our own rope. Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go, where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, your feet propped up, and what the heck? You'll love how we live here in these mountains. Everything is gonna be alright, and we all wave hello here in these mountains. Life is good, we sleep well at night. It's alright, the mountain life. So plan a trip to Ellijay and see the bright red Georgia clay, from Notley down to Carter's Lake. All the memories to make, so much here for all to see, a land that is so dear to me. Welcome home to all your dreams, hot rod Fords and mountain streams. Now you love how we live here in these mountains. Everything is gonna be alright. We all wave hello here in these mountains. Life is good, we sleep well at night, and it's alright, the mountain life. looking down from a hilltop at the lights of my hometown. This place is all so different now, and they've torn the red light down. That old wooden bridge I fished from is replaced with man-made stone. The swimming pool in our old school, like you, they both are gone. I've been thinking about the summer of 1969. Long ago and far away, when I thought you were mine. For better or worse, thick or thin, so much has changed since then. My crazy heart spins round and round when I dream of way back when. When the rock and roll would play in that old silver Chevrolet. And AM rock was all we knew back then. Big green eyes and short Levi's, I remember you. But it's all over now, baby blue. To the sea, the track that took my dad to war in 1943 still stretches by the depot like so many years before. But like you, the train's on a different track. It don't come here no more. And the rock and roll would play in that old silver Chevrolet. And AM rock was all we knew back then. Big green eyes and short Levi's, I remember you. But it's all over now, baby blue. Red ball tires, western flyers, and 8-track Suzy Q. It's all over now, baby blue.
All right, you sweet little old ladies who love that music, sit back down in your chair and quit getting so excited. Yes, the CD is coming out next week. It's going to have Daddy's Lunchbox. It's going to have Jesus Called. It's going to have Southern Lights. It's going to have The Mountain Life. It's going to have all of my favorite songs. Although it won't have Smoky Mountain Memories because it is all original music by none other than Mr. Ellijay. Now think about it. He can write hundreds and hundreds of songs, but I've got him working on one that he has not quite got the kick with it yet. I want a song about ball ground, and I said it has to include two things. It has to include the train. I don't know how you're going to do it. And it has to include the history of the Cherokee. I know how you do that. You put the little beat, beat, beat of the drum in the background. I'm smart enough to know that. But I have confidence. If the man can write the songs he has written in the past, he can write me a song about ball grounds. So get her done. You got it? Get her done. Get out tomorrow and go to McCaysville. Go to McCaysville City Park. Be there tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Leave early. Stop up there and eat supper with some of the nice folks in their restaurants. Get out and contribute to the communities and the sweet cities that we serve, from Ball Ground to Turtletown. Become a part of what's best about ETC. It's you. It's just you and your businesses, you and your music, you and your children. And speaking of children, they're back on the bus, they're back in school, they're back on the football fields, and ETC, nobody but ETC covers the football, the baseball, the basketball. We cover it all, and it means if you grannies and grandpas are like me and you're aching today, you can sit at home in your rocking chair and watch local television. That's what it's about. That's why we've been here over 20 years and we'll stay until the cows come home. I hope that you've enjoyed today as we took a trip where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet, to Darnell Farms, to R&A Orchards, and to the mountain life. That's what it's about. I'll see you again soon, only on ETC. But don't forget, the minute we go off the air, Trace works this and we go to YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube. Just type in Sherry Martin or Sherry Martin Heart of the Home. That's all you have to do. And I guarantee you'll see you or some of your kin folks right there on YouTube. See you again soon, guys.